Alright guys, welcome into Tarot with Rain from Sugar. I've already pulled some cards because sometimes when I'm doing my pre-shuffle, some cards come out. So we are using the Light Seers Tarot. I picked it up and this one fell out a moment ago. But it was not a part of the initial pull. But however, as I'm sitting here, the sun's underneath that as well. So we're going somewhere with that. But at first, all I have is the moon card. I'll let you look at that. It's actually quite a beautiful card. She's just falling into the depth of the ocean like a mermaid, or I don't know, with the power of the moon just illuminating her face. But it is illusion. It is misinterpretation, projection, fear, potentially. Let's see. Maybe even confusion, lack of information, maybe. Sorry, I gotta. However, the moon is illuminating it clearly. You've got your both light and dark, so whatever's going on, full circle, is coming to fruition, is what that tells me. I didn't see that upon initially looking at it. I'm like, okay, I've just got that card, and then I've got the Five of Swords. What the I didn't notice this originally. Wow, okay. Sorry, but you see that guy? I just thought it was like his buddy in the background, free-flowing, and, you know, he wasn't living his life, but you look a little closer. Looks like the man is thinking about jumping in that's blood splatter. I mean, am I holding that proper? Good grief, Batman. I'm trying to see it with... There we go, that's a good angle. Stuck in the head. Just really distorted. It's like you could kind of just like, it's a betrayal. So there's some kind of illusion over a betrayal. Okay, almost like he fucking killed his buddy. Or somebody. I shouldn't use those words. Oft. This is for entertainment purposes only. Anyhow, so... I'm not 2020. However, I'll give you something fucked up to watch. I don't care how many murder stories you have watched that's real life documentaries or whatever and fallen asleep to. If you're like me, you just straight fall asleep to that shit. Whatever. if you're tired enough, obviously. Still, watch this one in the daytime, called Mr. Shiny. It's on Hulu, and I don't know why I was debating on even sharing that, because it's kind of it's one of those that'll stick with you because it was real and they've got too much real footage. You could probably, if you've got Disney, watch it or purchase it through your Disney app, because if Disney's got that link to Hulu without purchasing Hulu. So Mr. Shiny, it's creepy as fuck. Expect to be what the fuck. I'll just not say anything about it, but I mean, it was of the occult kind of sacrificial things, but I will say there were certain dates and planetary alignments, and those very same dates and planetary alignments happened February 28th and 29th of this year. And they won't be exact, but they will happen again June 3rd through the 15th of this year. And it's a triangle in Ophiuchus, and that's all of 3 planets. 2 particular planets NASA even calls the smiley face, ergo Mr. Smiley thing. So just know that that is something totally to watch during the day, and it's not for the faint of heart. If you get creeped out easy, you might not want to watch it at all. Anyway, I don't know why. Maybe somebody's talking in somebody's ear here. False information. This is what it's looking like. He looks like he's upset after something he did, so that's like the aftermath of that ordeal that I just mentioned. I thought I seen in the background. What did somebody do? What song did I keep picking up? I took a break to go to the bathroom before I started the reading because I had already done cleansing, and this was all about communication and poor communication. All of these are about illusion over communication, except for your 10 of Cups. Your 10 of Cups is about a family, stability, home life. You know, look, they're happy, they're sitting. What have I not noticed here? Let's take these glasses off. Let's take a close look, huh? What is that flying right there? I don't know what that's supposed to be right there, but I don't know. Looks pretty chill to me. Your 10 of Cups is the home fulfillment kind of deal. So does someone trying to disperse illusions over your home life? Because we've got the 2 of Swords again. I mean, the 2 of Swords again. I didn't already have it out once. What I meant was the 2 of Swords. Another non-clear card. I mean, you can see how she's tangled up. What's fucked up is I actually love the depiction in this card, but I like the weird art, and I never did look at that. So this right here, these 2 triangles, I meant to look that up. Look a little closer. There is some rune type writing on her arm, or that could be a symbolism of the Libra scales balance, tattoo kind of like thing. And as much as I like ravens and crows, and there's one in between, but it starts with a C. I won't say it because it sounds perverse when I say it, but I'm actually talking about a fucking bird. How about that? Just Google it. Anyway. In other words, it's not quite a raven and it's not quite a crow, but it is part of the same family. Nevertheless, I like those birds, but it looks like they're helping swarm her and keep her delusional. But usually this person is only hiding from the truth on their free will. They have what I coined, and this is you won't find this word anywhere else. You probably will after today, and that's fine. Heard it here first. Ostrich syndrome. The Two of Swords is very ostrich syndrome-esque. In other words, I'm willing to be delusional because I don't want to face all of the things. Head in the sand. What I call it, ostrich syndrome. And that would explain why earlier I was like, well, she looked at peace about it. Of course she looks at peace about it. She's in denial with ostrich syndrome because she's letting this happen. It's not just a happenstance and circumstance anymore. She knows what's happening and she's allowing it. So, but that's still disillusionment. And then I go in the Gypsy Tarot, and then we got over the moon card. We've got, you've got the Four of Spades card and number 49. Okay, which 4 plus 9 equals 13, which would still equal 4. Anyway, the eye, when near, denotes great interest taken by friends. When distant, it signifies suspicion. And with the handing on the moon card, I'm going to say it signifies suspicion, and it's not near that 10 of Cups. So there's something suspect about some friends in the situation. Okay? So you got some shady ass friends in your energy, huh? I can relate. We've all been there. And then there are those that are only there for the drama, right? Alright, then we have number 11. Ace of Hearts. The fox in close proximity argues distrust of acquaintances who are seeking to betray you. Distant, less danger. Well, it's right under the 5 of Swords. What the frick? You can't make it up. It's like, I'm up here like, do you see what I see? Do you? Like, here, maybe I can get it to where, I don't know if you can read that. Screenshot it or read it back. And you can zoom in on that crap right there. Wow. It is for entertainment purposes only. And if this is your story, you probably already know. However, safe than sorry. Maybe this is just for lessons. But there's a lot of illusions being cast by people that are in close proximity to you. The Fox. The Ace of Hearts. And I don't think you're aware of it because the Hearts is an emotional card, so they're probably pulling on your fucking heartstrings. And that's why they're able to be the Fox. Oh, I like my water, but I like my LaCroix. I'm going to pause you. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I realized you probably just got a straight shot of my sleeve. I put that on pause. So yeah, you got a fox in your energy, man. And this Five of Swords shit. You've got the Moon card, and right underneath it, once again, the Four of Spades, the eye. When near denotes great interest taken by friends. When distant, it signifies suspicion. So, by technicality, it's several cards away from this. So, I'm going to say, with all, especially being under the Moon card, we're going to say far away and denotes suspicion. Spades are swords in the tarot. So that's the Four of Swords card, right? Okay. You got a friend trying to Four of Swords your ass. They're trying, you've got some, man. You got somebody close that's done some kind of betrayal. And this is what I can tell you. 100%. Ace of Hearts. I mean, it's right next to it. I wish it was more distant. Because if it says distant, less danger. Once again, entertainment purposes only. No, for real though, if you are relating to this, then it's your story. If you're not, then welcome to As the Tarot Turns. Hey, listen, none of this is supposed to be real, right? I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Anywho. Yeah, you got somebody shady up in here. I don't know what it has to do with this fucking love connection, but I need to open my LaCroix. Sorry for the sound of the can in advance. Two of Swords, choosing to ignore something, choosing to be so delusional about. Let's see what falls on this. Hang on, because I had this. We had on top of the Ten of Cups, your lovers, the house, the home, the fulfillment, the kids. You have the Ten of Hearts. Okay. Which is a number 7 here. Bouquet of flowers, an absolute indication of long and happy life. If children are near, by extraordinary honors and fame. Here, let me get my cup situated and I'll try to get this up in here. You know, and you know, and a cups is a heart, emotion, love, home, family, feeling, fulfillment even, I guess. I don't know. Am I even getting that where you could, did I angle it last time? I guess you'll just have to take my word for it, huh? But you can still look at the depiction of the card as well. Ooh, look, there. We had it for a moment. So about that angle, right? You can read that. Perfect. And that right there is on your Ten of Cups. On our Two of Swords, we have our Ace of Clubs. And that is a 31 card. Okay, I will put that up in here a little closer. You've got X marks the spot. Looks like a little railroad track crossing. You've got mountains and hills and the sun coming up over the horizon. The roads turned to the dark clouds, foretells misadventures, but far from the person, the evil consequences may be averted. Food. So we got some kind of bullshit. Knowledge is power, though. So whatever comes your way, really, this too shall pass. No joke. With that story, I had a story behind that. Little shall pass. And then this came flipping out right here. The 9 of Diamonds, number 39. The heart signifies great joy when near. So, I mean, there's abundance, like complete and total abundance right here from 2 different decks. That's just coming right out. Hang on. It's all about that angle, isn't it? I mean, you got your pentacles. Okay. Money, career, success. And this happens in the springtime, and we just entered into officially spring. Granted, around here we'll have one more winter. We had our redwood winter. We'll probably have our dogwood winter as well. All right, so let's see. What's the vibe? I've been wanting to pull What's the Vibe deck, and I'm just not. And then might have to elaborate some more on who's who. What's the vibe on the friendship? The person that has great interest that you're suspect about underneath the moon. What's the vibe on that shit right here? Any information that you can give me? The cards are talking, so let's keep on talking, baby. After all, whoa, I didn't want that many. I'll tell you what they are, but we're going to keep going and pull until I get one card. We've got legal. So there's some lawyers, court, and paperwork involved. Maybe I should take it. Maybe somebody's done something illegal, it seems. Alright, whatever. You need to be cutting ties, freedom, standing up, and awakening. So obviously, whoever this is for, you know exactly what's going on. And you're cutting ties. And you're taking time to smell the roses. Slow down. Or this is advice that you need to hear. Slow down. Take some you time. Get out in nature. It is beautiful right now. So before it gets cold again, especially if you're in the south where I'm at, enjoy it while you can, because it will get cold. Maybe a time or 2 more. Unless, I don't know, climate's been wonky, so who am I to say? Alright, we'll see. So this is what the collective needs to know. Tell me about the Five of Swords, the friend. Especially with that background picture. I don't know if that's a friend. That's a friend. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer type situation. Distrust of acquaintances who are seeking to betray you. I mean, obviously they are. So you should be distrustful of these acquaintances. So trust your freaking instincts. Trust your gut. I don't like when people want to pretend like instinct and guts and feelings mean nothing and make you crazy, mean you're crazy, when human beings have survived off of instinct alone for thousands and thousands of years. They don't want you to use your instincts. They want you suppressed, but whatever, you do you, booze. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. I don't think it gets more clear than that. I really just don't. And people want to stay sheep, and I've discovered that a lot. It's really sad. It kind of breaks my heart. We're in a new era, and the reality of it is, some awake, some won't. So slow down, smell the roses. Don't worry about this deceptive shit. You've been cutting ties and freedom. And it has something to do with some legal work. Great interest taken by friends with this. Yeah, you're suspicious that one of your friends is involved in this legal shit. And you're aware of a connection from a friend. And some fraudulent legal activity. So you're just like, I'm gonna let this play out. Fuck it. Smell the roses. Is that the energy maybe you're in? If that's so, keep cutting these ties, because that's gonna lead you to your Ten of Cups. I mean, look, listen, you even have on top of it the bouquet of flowers, an absolute indication of long and happy life. If children are near, which are even on the card, I just can't. I just it blows my mind how cards back each other up in a reading. I mean, I know that it's pretty consistent, I'm not gonna lie. The heart signifies great joy when near is also on top of that. So it's just like, okay, cool. You're getting ties, you're smelling the roses, and that's why that's coming in. Let's see what's the... Tell me something about this Five of Swords character and this fucking friend that's not got. That was about to sound really bad. Does not have good intentions towards you whatsoever. What is their motive? Can you give me some information on that and the vibe? What's the vibe? What's the motive of this friend? Which is clearly, obviously, not a friend. Just let's be clear here. So maybe there's a few more ties you need to cut to stay under the fox here. And maybe you have some kind of emotional attachment to... Why can't they sometimes just give me a few? It's obviously someone you've shared a lot of laughter, happiness, and joy with. Someone that has thrills And that tends to have continuous cycles, bad decisions, and addictions. Blocked. So it's someone you've got blocked already. That's why you've got your Ten of Cups. That's why you're in that what this is. Yeah, Ten of Cups. That's why you're in your Ten of Cups. You wouldn't be there if you hadn't been blocked, or I mean blocked whoever the fuck all this shit is, and said no, and put up your boundaries. Moved on. Nothing to say. Stop calling. Blocked. That's why it's got. Oh, they must feel like instead, because you blocked them, that you're being antisocial. Because look at some guy over here reflecting in his hoodie. Could be a gal too, but I want to apply it where it goes. Anyhow, antisocial. No, I mean, if I feel like it's specific, I'll tell you as fuck. Antisocial, in your feelings, silent treatment, and left out. So I guess that's what they feel about being blocked. Oh well. They want to Five of Swords you. Let me show you that card one more time. They want to Five of Swords you, and then they're just going to have grave remorse about it. Bitch, please. Apparently the angels on the shoulder flew off, and the devil... I can't. Oh, tell me about this happy family. Please keep it good, because they had the Ten of Cups, they got it, and you got a friend that's wanting, obviously, to destroy this, not just this union, but apparently destroy this union by any means possible. Watch who you let in your energy. And if you're in, this is for someone in the collective. I am not in a relationship. This is not for me. I mean, yeah, I've cut off a lot of ties. And people probably still want to Five of Swords me, but there's no epiphany. So you're having an epiphany about who this is, maybe? Self-reflection, answered questions, untapped talents. Do you have some untapped talents maybe that's going to lead to this person? Or you're just in your groove, babe. Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, baby. Show them how to do it. Sorry. Song goes to my mind. And like I said, I have to go back to the song, which, oh yeah, what was it? I went to the bathroom. Civil War. So I told you a communication issue here. All these are, except for the couples, the rest of them are also poor communication and conflict cards. So I'm going to go ahead. That's the only song I'm going to do. Even though because I feel like it's the only one out of the songs that's come through today that's pertinent to this particular reading in this energy for whomever this is in the collective. And besides that, we just want to kind of get a feel of what was in the energy for Monday. So, this week, smell the roses. Stay freedom, wake, and keep your those. Whoa. So over here, the Two of Swords. And the roads turn to dark clouds foretells misventures, but far from the person, the evil consequences may be averted. Oh. Oh. This is on top of someone who is literally delusional by choice. And that is a narcissist. Or a sociopath. Or someone on that kind of spectrum. If someone's choosing to let people delude them, I'm totally okay with that with ostrich syndrome. That's not normal. And this doesn't look like this person is doing up to any good anyhow. You know, if they were to just take the damn blindfold off and get away from the bullshit, but the misfortune and the... does that mean, is that train tracks to you? Does that say train tracks, train crossing, or something? With the sun coming up, so in the morning time, is there going to be some kind of a car accident in the morning time at a train crossing? It's a spades. It says a spades. Number 31. 3 plus 1 is 4. We had a 4 card earlier. Well, I certainly hope not. But it looks suspect. Because what comes out next is this, and I didn't like that, so that's what I wanted to see, if I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Someone's got their head up against the wall, literally, suffering in silence. Unspoken desires. I don't like what I'm picking up on. Real feelings and broken dreams. I don't like this feeling. I really don't. I can't say I won't get out of the energy a little bit. You know, you're... Give me more on the suffering in silence. Notice a bunch of cards came out on those. On these two. One card came out on each. Interesting. That's not one to tell me much. Tell me more about the Two of Swords suffering in silence. Or there might be ask and thou shalt receive. So now you gotta play 21 pickup sticks. There's a lot of cards to take. I'm going to look at them. The one that fell over here by itself is isolation, rejection, left alone, and it's self-inflicted. So whatever someone's going through here in the Two of Swords, well, let me set the other cards down. Obviously, it's self-inflicted. What I tell you, this is someone allowing the flying monkeys to make them delusional. They're permitting it. They know it's happening. Basically, they're allowing abuse, is what it boils down to, of some sort in their life. And it's causing isolation, rejection, left alone, and it's self-inflicted, obviously. So no wonder this person what, are they envious that you've got a family and or something? Like, it don't make it make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, my life's not been normal, so I get it. But really? Stagnant, stuck, dead end, and frozen. Waves, emotions, worry, and fear is what this person's dealing with. That's in this Two of Swords here. And it's just validation. And this, it's for it's not for that. It doesn't work. Because you've got, right beside that, intimacy, mutual respect, unity, and closeness coming in. Maybe that's your epiphany. For the Lovers. Why? Because you set up boundaries. Disrespectful. Enough is enough. Defend yourself. That's right. Enough is enough. Sometimes you have to defend yourself. And let me tell you real quick. People don't understand boundaries. And in this world, one thing I'm just going to break the news. Sometimes setting a boundary is difficult. And it not only hurts the person, it hurts two people sometimes. Sometimes it actually doesn't feel good to set a boundary. I've had to set boundaries I did not want to set. But here's the thing about a boundary. And I love that she's drawn the line in the sand. Because, and I think I'm quoting, I'm not going to actually say I'm quoting, but I am quoting somebody. You cannot draw your line in the sand and then back up and draw another line. And then back up and draw another line. Because if you continue to do that, then you're not really setting a boundary at all. But obviously someone here is. And it's causing someone else to be in the Two of Swords. You got someone else over here in the Five of Swords. You got some people that just don't want you to be happy all the way around in your career, home, life. Like, I would like to say, what kind of people are they? But instead I'm going to say, sounds like you got family like mine. You live where I live. The whole damn town. Yes, I am getting cozy in my little nook. Anyway, and harmony. So in this relationship, when it does come in, and all the career and success and the kids and the family, because you've got fame and fortune also card right over that, because that's exactly what the card pulled said. Harmony, balance, peace, and happiness. All right. I think that does actually kind of explain it. I'm not going to pull more cards. I think we know exactly what you've got here. And if you've got a friend or a frenemy or someone that used to be a friend, someone that you go hiking with, maybe don't go hiking with them. You ain't heard from them in a minute and they pop up out of the blue. Hey, what's up? Maybe they ain't there for the party. I can't believe I'm I'm just now noticing that. They just mad because you're cutting ties, and then apparently they got themselves caught up in some legal shit. Anyway, because it looked like I started out with all cards that had a little bit of disillusionment over it. My thought process is, and then we've got our Queen of Cups right here, and the Sun underneath here. Queen of Swords. Hell yeah, you've got some. And the Queen of Pentacles. Underneath that is the Five of Cups, though. Stop looking back. Let go. What's gone's gone. Because you're in this energy. That's gone. That don't cry over spilled milk. That's the don't cry over spilled milk card, for sure. See? You keep crying over the spilt milk, it'll pull you into. So stop it. And I don't know if that's for you, because this could be preventing you from going into a relationship. Yeah, it's pulled with all the others. So it is advice for all of these. You've got your Queen of Swords, your Queen of Cups, your Queen of Pentacles, the Sun, I mean. So yeah, don't let the past pull you in, and don't start crying over spilt milk, because someone is going to be probably over here that you've blocked, just all up in their shit. Someone you once shared laughter with now. So there's an enemy in the camp, because the laughter falls on top of this fox. And I'm sorry if you've been betrayed by a friend, because that's what it falls on. And they're in their head about it. They're disillusioned. And there's not clear communication. Because that's how it started out. Oh, man. Well, not oh, man, because card 13, Death and Rebirth. And that's actually one of the best cards you can get, because that's new beginnings. However, underneath it is temperance, so stay balanced and focused on your Eight of Cups. Your Eight of Cups is, you notice how she's kind of just looking at all of her stuff, home, family. It's more of a balance card. Looking at what you've produced. Maintain your equilibrium, though. Well, you can have the death of the old, the cutting of the ties of all this, whatever this bullshit is. Apparently might be some legal matters in here, too. So, someone's a friend's caught up in betraying you a little bit. Yeah, because it's under the moon, so with the eye when near denotes great interest taken by friends. Be wary of those who only want to know about the dramas in your life. I mean, I question a recent encounter, because I know someone wanted to go to lunch that what used to be very close to, and I've always been very close to. However, I've taken inventory of how people behave and what they want from me and how the relationship makes me feel. and what kind of conversations are being had. So maybe someone else needs to take inventory. Yep. Take inventory or you'll be drowning and over your head. That's a warning. And we don't want that because you're already good. Cut those ties, even if it hurts. Because, yeah, if someone, like, so, like, for me, I'm like, yeah, but we ain't caught up, so I don't want our lunch to be about, oh, the dramas of my life, and let me fill you in on the real bullshit that's happened. So let me knock it out now. Which, right now is not a right time for me to just, you know, say everything, even though I have moments of where I want to have mouth diarrhea. I'm not going to lie. But I'm not I'm not private on the matter. On the matters, plural. But this person did not know anything. So, I caught this person up. And then, in this involvement, someone who actually betrayed me, we could say justice is being had in one of a large circle of things. I don't know that the justice is being had pertaining to me yet. The details. I know they're not going anywhere. That's all I can really say. That's all. I don't know if there's an association or not, and I'll find out more information throughout the week. But it was phrased, well, I was worried about the two of you. The two of you, well, I understand that person was MIA, I get it, but you're worried about the person who wants to abuse me every day. Just because you know information, like, yeah. That made me uncomfortable. But, I mean, this person also knows who I am and knows my heart, that stuff like that bothers me. I would not want anything bad to happen to anybody. I don't even want something that bad to happen to my worst enemies. So, you know, I can get that kind of phrasing from it too. So, maybe, you know, you're too on guard these days. Or maybe you need to be too on guard these days. You gotta watch out. The enemy will come in any way it can. So once again, because of all the emotional stuff and the goings-ons, I got you a ruin. This one gives clear signals, correct messages, mental awareness. It's related to Odin in your lore of things, if you want to look that up. Germanic, what did I write? Insight, Germanic in native. Insight, understanding, mental awareness. Intellectual awakening. Wisdom, language, and cognition for clear thinking. That way, if there's something that's dispelling some kind of illusion, someone's spending some spell work, you're just dealing with a dipwad, because God knows there's plenty of them. Here's your run for that. Just letting you copy or screenshot at will. So, today we did that. Let's end with something positive. We have gotten to 55 right there on the dot when I pulled that. And I really don't want to go over an hour. So what I want, the other things I wanted to talk about, if it comes out in a later reading, I'll talk about it. If not, I'll make a video just for that purpose. Because there's something that keeps coming to my attention. But oh, and the Civil War song. Before I pull us a nice little thing, you got all this cutting ties, so maybe you need to hear this song. And this is the only one I'm going to do. Use your illusion too, by the way, if you want to look it up. What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. I can't. Where'd it go? Alright. What we've got here is failure to communicate. I'll just go read it. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. And I don't like it any more than you men. Look at your young men fighting. Look at your women crying. Look at your young men dying. Look at the way they've always done before. Look at the hate we're breeding. Look at the fear we're feeding. Look at the lives we're leading. The way we've always done before. It's time for change. My hands are tied, the billions shift from side to side, and the wars go on with brainwashed pride for the love of God and our human rights. And all these are swept aside. Ostrich syndrome. By bloody hands, time can't deny, and are washed away by your genocide. And history hides the lies of our civil wars. Do your weak a black armband when they shot the man who said peace could last forever. And in my first memories, they shot Kennedy. I went numb when I learned to see, so I never fell for Vietnam. We got the wall of DC to remind us all that you can't trust freedom when it's not in your hands. When everybody's fighting for their promised land. I don't need your civil war. It feeds the rich while it buries the poor. You're power hungry, selling soldiers in a human grocery store. Ain't that fresh? I don't need your civil war. Look at the shoes you're filling. Look at the blood you're spilling. Look at the world we're killing. Look at the way we've always done before. Look at the doubt we've wallowed. Look at all the leaders we've followed. Look at the lies we've swallowed. And I don't want to hear no more. My hands are tied, for all I've seen has changed my mind. But still the wars go on as the years go by, with no love of God or human rights. Because all these dreams are swept aside by bloody hands of the hypnotized, who carry the cross of homicide, and history bears the scars of our civil wars. We practice selective annihilation of mayors and government officials, for example, to create a vacuum. Then we fill that vacuum. As popular war advances, peace is closer. I don't need your civil war. It feeds the rich while it buries the poor. You're power hungry, selling soldiers in a human grocery store. Ain't that fresh? I don't need your civil war. No, no, no. I don't need your civil war. I don't need your civil war. 3 times. You're power hungry, selling soldiers in a human grocery store. Ain't that fresh? I can keep saying it again. I don't need your civil war. I don't need your civil war. I don't need your civil war. No, no, no. What's so civil about war, anyway? That is a great point. What is civil about war, anyway? That was a hell of a reading on a song. Maybe I will go into that. Why not? How about this? If I see what I'm looking for, actually, I don't have to. Alright, it is the beginning of spring, you know. Now, I do baskets. I do custom baskets. But this year, it turns out that my apartment buildings want. I mean, she made the boy, like I said, next door cry over his figurines. Our apartments do look like the better homes and gardens. So the way I've got things put up, and I thought I was doing the right thing when she called me and she said I got a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom. Well, with the amount of stuff that I have, because apparently I'm not supposed to have stuff, right? Any fucking way. Another story. But, I should have just been selfish like the rest of the world and took the 2-bedroom, but I didn't. My thought process was, why, when I'm one person and a cat, take a 2-bedroom that a potential mother and child could use. So, and still, I'm right for thinking that. What was I going to go get? Oh, I want to show you my Easter baskets for the kids this year. I have grandkids. So, one, we did dinosaurs. And the other, we did unicorns. And there'll be a little story behind that. So I'm going to pause it real quick while I go get those before I wrap them up. All right. So Rory absolutely loves dinosaurs right now. So, dinosaur theme. You know those little neck pillows? He's got a dinosaur neck pillow. That's what this is. We've got our dinosaur rabbit ears. I guess it's hard for me to show it in this space. You can look. I'll take pictures and post later. And I'll be sure to get a catalog up. So take this as a thing. These are for my grandkids, yes. I had to put up all my inventory. I have a small space. I don't have the workspace. Okay. So I didn't also get the basket orders out to where people can make orders quick enough because I wasn't sure how I could finagle that. So guess what? I'm looking for a space later to put the basket stuff. But with that being said, you can start anytime. Just because it's Easter and that is the prime time for baskets, that would have been prime for me to relaunch it for the 100th time. And I'll get into the whole light bulb spill on another day, I guess, or I'll look it up in a minute. There's that quote. But don't stop. And also, anybody that's out there, and this is a Brene Brown thing, there cannot be, you have to be vulnerable to be successful. And in the midst of that, you have to be willing to accept failure. And that's not a direct quote, that's me paraphrasing. So anyway, back to Rory's Easter basket. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So we've got a dinosaur egg with stickers and stuff in it. I'm trying not to knock anything else. We got our dinosaur eggs with candy in it. It's got candy that he can eat. We also have some little Snickers. We have Reese's. He likes cars right now. He loves cars. So we've got a green car right there. I forgot what kind of car I got. You seen the Jelly Bellies. And we do the back. So not only do we have a dinosaur coloring book. Hannah woke up to him coloring her dresser the other day. He said, Mommy, I'm painting. She said, oh God. She just let him. But I also got, there's crayons in here that are washable. Because he also got to hold the couch. Anyway, here is, you see the egg car? Limited edition Hot Wheels egg car. You've got your, you know, classical little Tweety bird. They're spoiled rotten. My mom made them a basket too, so. You've got dinosaur stickers and a little playbook. Bubbles, of course. You have to have Peeps, right? So he got the white, right? Crispy Peeps. And then a bunch of little candies added. There is also a little container right here for all the stuff once it comes out of the basket. For all the little stuff. That way he can just reach in and get his stuff. So you've got your dinosaur coloring book with crayons that are washable, and this right here is a Bluey paint book, but you just paint with water. So, and he loves Bluey. Oh, don't come loose, dinosaur egg. All right, and then yeah, the Maeve. Oh, there's also hand sanitizer and, you know, baby shampoo, body wash thing that's in there as a, you know, down deep as a filler, as well as a froggy toothbrush. You gotta have a cool froggy toothbrush, especially on Easter with all the candy, right? So I'm gonna wrap that up in a bag soon and put a bow on it. Like I said, they're getting Easter baskets from my mom, so they got traditional stuff too. And so hopefully I can get her to give me pictures of that so we can show you those as well. So I went, and it was kind of happenstance and kind of wasn't, because I didn't notice something at first. But we'll talk about that after I explain the baskets. So we've got our unicorn pillow. And as she goes, or even now she can use that. She has rubber ducky eggs. And yes, they do have candy in them. And I wouldn't necessarily do that on a ordered custom basket for a child that young. Because Kara's is still a little baby, but her parents will eat it. It's the kind of candy mommy and daddy like. Well, I mean, let's be real. You know, and she'll eventually be able to play with that. She'll laugh and giggle at that. We've got some unicorn rubber duckies. This is some baby stuff. It's some surprise baby thingamajiggy. We've got our plush baby unicorn. Okay. And this may be a little one. We've got a little difficult to... Oh no, did we lose a... We almost lost a ducky. Anyway, we can go quack, quack, or we go quack, quack. Alright, so we've got a container for her. Alright. This right here is a night light that you can program. It plays music. You can program it to say things. So I thought that was sweet. I don't know, you can zoom in if you want. Cotton candy Peeps. They match. You have to have Peeps in an Easter basket. You don't, but for my grandbabies, I do. Another little, you know, pony unicorn thing. She got the lotion since I got him, the body wash. My daughter doesn't need to, the same thing. And they both got their own little hand sanitizer. He got a green thing, hand sanitizer wipes, and she got a pink thing. And I put the other bubbles in hers. She also got a little rattle right here, a little Paul's rattle. So, and this is falling on me. So we've got our bathtub rubber ducky. And, some stuff for her to utilize now. She'll get most use. Oh, and she got the wind up. She'll get laughs out of that. She got the wind up rabbit, whereas he got the duck. So I will have to get those wrapped up. And yeah, it became too overwhelming for me to dig out all the Easter stuff and get it out when Easter came so early this year. You can look up why it comes so early. I'm not going to give you all that. But when I was looking through that the other day, that was what I was trying to find yesterday in the other reading. And I'll tell you a funny little story. So Rory loves dinosaurs, and I have read my Bibles. Now, have I sit down and read it like I probably should? I mean, I've read Dianetics, and I've made it through that at a very young age. They ruined that, by the way. That is a cult. Don't get into that. Let it be. It could have been a psychology book that was utilized if you actually read the book, but it's a shame what they did with that. They say there's a fine line between genius and madness. And apparently in this situation, in that Dianetics shit, there obviously was. Because it was a genius-written psychology book, if you understood it in any capacity, but they utilized it for bad. Just like anything can be utilized for bad. However, okay, I grew up in the Bible Belt. So, as a kid, I used to, ask my papa questions about, and my Uncle Scott there. I can just imagine him sitting on the front porch in the swing or in the Cracker Barrel rocking chairs, and I'd mention something about the dinosaurs and the Bible and the correlation, and I just get this smile and this grin that would be ignored. And anyhow, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I just thought that was a neat little Miranda information. However, the unicorn, when I was reading a Psalms prayer, being in the Bible Belt in the South, and even having read the Bible, that was the first time I came across the word unicorn. And maybe that's my ignorance, but here's the thing. I have absolutely positively never heard anyone here in the Bible Belt use the word unicorn. And I'll tell you why. Because they don't use it. They dismiss it and hide that. And there's a reason. The unicorn is a symbolism for internal wisdom, the I am. And I did have notes, so that way I don't have to really completely extend this video. And I like to use Irish type themes, so we will. In early Irish art and spiritual discourse, the unicorn was used to distinguish internal spiritual authority. Are you catching this? This is in your Bible. These are things Jesus wanted you to know. Anyhow. It's for the enlightened, but I'm asking, it's the year to stop being sheep. Just because you call yourself a Christian does not mean you're not herded like an animal. Anyhow, back to reading. In early Irish art and spiritual discourse, the unicorn was used to distinguish internal spiritual authority from the external sheep-like religious structures you've observed in the Bible Belt. I asked some questions, obviously, so it responded. Yes, I did ask Google Gemini on this one. The unicorn in early Irish art, the symbol of discernment. In Irish manuscripts, the stone carvings, the unicorn was often depicted with its horn pointed directly forward or touching a vessel. This represented discernment. Don't you always hear, especially in religious contexts, use discernment? It's represented discernment, the ability to pierce through the lies to find the truth. That's what discernment is. Pierce through the lies to find the truth. So yeah, I may read, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this Bible's not been touched by man. And there are things that's added and things that have been taken out. There has been words misinterpreted. It doesn't mean there's not still some truth there. There is ultimate truth that is fundamentally false through all religions, but I'll get to that. Let's read on. So, it represents using discernment to find the truth. The living water connection. Because of the purifier lore, the unicorn was frequently carved near baptism fonts of water sources in Ireland. It served as a visual reminder that true power cleanses the soul, whereas false power simply controls the body. The hunt of the unicorn tapestries. While often associated with the French, these themes were prevalent in Celtic art. They show the unicorn being hunted by a mob, the sheep mentality. The art portrays the mob as chaotic and violent, while the unicorn remains calm and dignified, even if captured, symbolizing that a free spirit can never truly be caged by the opinion of masses. True spiritual power versus false religious authority. In context of your studies as an omniist, I am an omniist, the unicorn serves as a perfect metaphor for the difference between faith and religion. The sheep, false authority, in the Bible Belt, yes, I did use the words, so it's using my words back. Authority is often based on compliance. People follow the herd because it is safe and requires no deep study. This is the domesticated version of spirituality that the book of Job mocks when it asks if the unicorn will abide by the crib. Job 39:9. A sheep stays in the crib for food. A unicorn stays in the wild for freedom. The unicorn, true authority, true spiritual power, like the Reem or the Aeon Adikrosh. I don't know if I said that remotely right, but I gave it a go. Is self-governing. Self-governing. It does not need a pastor to tell it what it is, pure, because it has the horn, the intuitive tool, to detect the poison itself, the sovereignty of the soul. Irish lore suggests that the unicorn only submits to purity, never to rank. This directly challenges the Bible Belt model where people submit to a preacher or a social tradition, regardless of whether that tradition is actually pure or poisoned. And I say this a lot, just because, and people often will, and you hear this a lot, well, I go to church. Oh, so I'm just supposed to assume that makes you a good human. You would be sickened by what is hidden behind some of the churches, even in a small town like mine. The unicorn as hidden truth, the fact that you found this word on repeat in your prayers while those around you have never mentioned it, is a practical example of this. True versus false authority. The false authority of the modern church scrubbed the word because it was inconvenient and sounded too wild. The true authority, the original text, the spirit of the lore, kept the word there for the seeker to find. In Irish tradition, finding the unicorn was considered a sign that a person was ready to stop following the herd and start walking the path of the one horn, a life of singular focus and internal truth. Would you like to look at it? Has to be something specific. To me, that's integration of the shadow self and self. It gives. I can give you all of the stuff, but you could look it up yourself. Each time it's mentioned, I won't do that. But it is Irish, Scottish concept of sovereignty. The unicorn represents a spirit that answers only to a higher, pure authority, not to sheep-like structures of man-made religion or agriculture. It's interesting. So, modern biblical replacements, the translation changed. Most churches in the Bible Belt transitioned from the King James Version to New International Version or English Standard Version. The primary substitution in all 9 verses, the word unicorn, has been replaced with wild ox. The reasoning, modern translators moved away from the 1611 King James Version imagery to align with the oryx on extinct species of giant cattle to make the text feel more historically grounded. 2. Numbers and Deuteronomy alternates. Numbers 23 and 22 and 24 and 28 change from strength of a unicorn to strength of a wild ox. Deuteronomy, I'll just simplify it, change from horns of unicorns to horns of wild ox. The focus moves from a singular mysterious creature to a heavy muscular bovine used for charging and trampling enemies. The Job and Isaiah alterations. The wild consent to serve you. Wild ox again. Wild ox again. So basically the verses are reinterpreted as comparison between domestic cattle, which are obedient, and wild, untamable version of the same animal. From horns of unicorns to horns of wild oxen. In the East Tennessee versions, the exhalation refers to the literal lifting of a bull's head in strength, stripping away the specific one-horn symbolism found in the King James Version. I don't know what that meant. Anyhow, I wanted to share that. I thought that was interesting. Especially just being surrounded by an area that makes sure you're doctrined. even if that's not your path. I mean, I did go down studying multiple religions, you know, to explain. Oh, this is a good response too. The silence in East Tennessee Bible Belt exists because most modern churches view the word unicorn as a clerical embarrassment rather than divine mystery. That's sad. Here are specific reasons you have never heard Christians mention it. Translation replacement, which we already went through. Fear of myth. In a culture that prioritizes literal truth, acknowledging a unicorn makes the Bible sound like a collection of fairy tales or mythology. To avoid this, pastors and teachers simply skip over the term or immediately correct it to a real animal to protect the perceived credibility of the text. The sheep mentality, as you noted, many followers rely on top-down teaching. If the pastor doesn't mention it in sermon, the average person sitting in the pews who often reads in pieces rather than studying in linguistics will never stumble upon it or realize it was ever there. Linguistic shift in 1611. Unicorn was a standard term for any one-horned beast, including the rhinoceros. Today, the word only brings to mind a magical horse. Christians avoid the word because they don't want to explain why a mythical creature is in a book they claim is historical fact. Talk about illusion. Listen, I don't know how that tied in to cards I pulled besides the illusion. I mean, there's a death and rebirth just in society alone. Maybe because you're the Queen of Cups and your Pentacles. Maybe this is letting you know that stay in the zone. You stay in your bag. And if anybody's sending hibbly jibbly, cut ties. They're drowning. They're not balanced. And enough is enough, remember? And this is for mental clarity. So treat it as a sigil you can put on anything. Put it on your window if you want. It only embodies the power of the Creator as any other talisman for the collective. This is appropriate, especially with unicorn magic. Yes. And you know what? You stay going towards your Ten of Cups and in your, or what was it? What was the Ten of Cups? Make sure I'm quoting right. I don't know. It was the family, the love, the whole nine, because we even had cards to validate that. Yeah. Someone doesn't want that for you. But they don't get to pick. You want to know why? Because just like the unicorn that's dismissed, the world needs your magic. Don't forget it. The world needs your magic. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will be back with another reading soon. Thanks for watching.